Upbeat, playful music starts and then fades to background. Hey there, fellow cat parents and future feline servants. Let's play a little game. Picture this. You've decided to get a cat. You've bought the fancy food, the laser pointer, and a cardboard box. Because let's be real, that's all they'll want. But then you face the ultimate choice, the one that can define years of cuddles or chaos. Should you get a boy or a girl? Do you think it even matters? You might think, a cat is a cat. But, oh my friend, that's where the first hilarious mistake is made. It's like choosing between a roommate who's a laid-back, goofy jock versus one who's a sophisticated, slightly judgmental mastermind. Today, we're cracking the code. We are diving deep into the psychology of male versus female cats to help you find your perfect furry soulmate. So, before you adopt, tell me in the comments, are you leaning towards Team Tomcat or Team Queen? Let's get into it. Alright, before we get into the whole battle of the sexes, let's remember the fundamental truth about our little predators. Every single cat, whether it's a majestic Tom or a graceful Queen, is basically a tiny, domesticated tiger that has successfully tricked us into providing room service. Their brains are hardwired with instincts from thousands of years of being apex hunters. They are solitary by nature, meaning their social rules are weird. They sleep for 16 hours a day to conserve energy for the vital task of knocking a pen off your desk. Understanding this core catness is crucial because gender differences are like different flavors of the same brand of delightful chaos. Neutering and spaying also play a huge role, turning a wild hormone-driven creature into the slightly more predictable weirdo we know and love. So think of their basic nature as the cake and their gender as the frosting. And today, we're figuring out if you prefer vanilla or strawberry frosting. Let's kick things off by talking about the boys. The male cat, often described with one beautiful word, goofy. If you've ever seen a full-grown 15-pound male cat get spooked by a cucumber or try to fit into a shoebox, you know exactly what I mean. There's a widely held belief in the cat community that male cats are the big, lovable teddy bears of the feline world. They tend to mature a little slower than females, meaning they often keep that playful, kitten-like energy well into their adult years. This is the cat that will chase a dust bunny with the intensity of a lion taking down a wildebeest, only to forget what he was doing halfway through and start grooming his leg. They can be incredibly endearing in their simplicity. Their world often revolves around three things: food, naps, and figuring out what that red dot is. This laid-back, what, me worry, attitude can make them fantastic family pets, as they're often more tolerant of the general chaos that comes with households. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of affection, Tomcat style. Male cats, especially after they've been neutered, have a reputation for being Premier League snugglers. They are often more overt and demanding with their affection. A female cat might show she loves you by slowly blinking from across the room, but a male cat, he's going to headbutt your face with the force of a tiny battering ram. This is called bunting, and it's his way of marking you as his property with the scent glands on his face. He'll weave between your legs when you're carrying groceries, turn into a purring 12-pound scarf the moment you sit down, and have no concept of personal space whatsoever. This isn't just a stereotype. Many owners report their male cats are more consistently cuddly and less, shall we say, moody than their female counterparts. If your ideal cat is a furry shadow that follows you from room to room, providing unsolicited massages with his paws, a male cat might just be your guy. But what about their territory? This is where the intact versus neutered conversation is a game changer. An unneutered male cat, a true tomcat, is driven by a biological imperative to rule his kingdom and find a mate. This often translates into the one behaviour that makes owners want to tear their hair out: spraying. This isn't just peeing, it's a pungent, oily, "I was here" signature sprayed on your walls, your furniture, and your favourite shoes. It's his personal, stinky billboard. However, let's be crystal clear. Getting your male cat neutered, especially before he reaches maturity, dramatically reduces or completely eliminates this behaviour in over 90% of cases. A neutered male's sense of territory becomes much more relaxed. He's less concerned with fighting off rival males and more concerned with defending his favourite sunbathing spot from, the sun moving. His world shrinks from the entire neighbourhood to the comfy confines of his home, making him a much more pleasant roommate. So how do these goofy boys get along with other cats? You might think 2 males in one house would be a recipe for a furry fight club, but surprisingly, that's not always the case. Neutered males can actually form very strong bonds with each other. Without the hormonal drive to compete for mates and territory, they often fall into a more relaxed, bromance type of relationship. You'll find them grooming each other, sleeping in a tangled pile of limbs, and teaming up for important missions like Operation Steal the Chicken Off the Counter. Of course, personality is key, and a proper introduction is always necessary. But generally speaking, 2 neutered males, or a male and a female, tend to integrate more smoothly than 2 unrelated females. The boys are often just happy to have a playmate to chase around the house during the 3 a.m. zoomies, sharing the workload of being chaotic little gremlins. Let's talk about playtime with a tomcat. If female cats are strategic hunters, male cats are often the brute force wrecking crew. Their playstyle can be described as enthusiastic and clumsy. They love to roughhouse. They'll grab a toy with both front paws, fall over, and kick it with their back feet in a move known as the bunny kick. It's pure, unadulterated, instinctual mayhem. They often prefer toys they can really wrestle with, like kicker toys filled with catnip, or something they can chase at full, uncoordinated speed. This is the cat that will leap for a feather wand, miss completely, and slam into the wall, only to shake it off and try again with even more gusto. This high-energy play is a fantastic outlet for them, and it's also hilariously entertaining to watch. If you're looking for a cat that will actively engage in wild play sessions and appreciate your attempts to tire them out, a male cat is often a very willing participant. Okay, let's roll out the red carpet for the queens. Female cats are often seen as the more complex gender. If male cats are the goofy jesters of the court, female cats are the ruling monarchs. They carry an air of sophistication and intelligence. A female cat seems to observe, to plot, to understand the inner workings of the household. She knows the exact decibel level her meow needs to be to get you out of bed in the morning. She knows that if she sits on your laptop, you will have no choice but to pay attention to her. This perceived intelligence can sometimes be interpreted as being aloof or distant, but that's not the whole story. She's just more selective with her time and energy. She's not going to waste a pounce on a dust bunny unless it's a particularly challenging dust bunny. This makes her a fascinating and engaging companion, one who always keeps you on your toes. She is the master of her domain, and she lets you live in it. How does a queen show her love? Well, it's often on her own terms. A female cat's affection can be more subtle and nuanced. She might not be the type to immediately jump on your lap the second you sit down. Instead, she might prefer to sit near you, just being in your presence. She'll give you those slow, adoring blinks from across the room, which are the feline equivalent of a kiss. She might gently reach out a paw to touch your arm, or grace you with a quiet, rumbling purr. When she does decide it's cuddle time, it feels like you've been granted a special audience. She'll curl up beside you, but don't you dare try to adjust her position. She has chosen, and the matter is settled. Many people call this behaviour cat-like, and they're not wrong. A female cat's affection is earned, not freely given, which can make it feel all the more rewarding when you become her chosen person. Now let's discuss territory from a queen's perspective. While an unneutered tomcat is concerned with the entire block, a female cat's territorial instincts are fiercely focused on the home itself. This is her nest, her safe space, and she is its protector. She might not be as prone to spraying as an intact male, but she will patrol her borders diligently. She'll rub her face on corners, furniture, and you, marking everything as part of her secure kingdom. This can sometimes make her less welcoming of newcomers, whether they're human or feline. She might take longer to accept a new cat into her space because that new cat is a direct intruder into her carefully curated world. Spaying, just like neutering, can mellow these instincts significantly, but that core sense of "this is my house" often remains. She's not looking for a fight, but she will maintain order and security with a quiet, regal authority that is truly impressive. One key aspect of the female cat's psychology is her powerful maternal instinct. Even if she's been spayed and has never had kittens, this instinct can manifest in fascinating ways. She might mother her favourite toys, carrying them round the house while meowing, looking for a safe place to keep them. Some female cats will even try to mother their humans, grooming your hair or kneading on you as if you were one of her kittens. This can also make her the fun police in a multi-cat household. If the other cats are playing too roughly, she might step in to break it up, giving them a sharp hiss or a swat to tell them to knock it off. This isn't her being mean. It's her instinct to maintain a safe and orderly environment. She's the matriarch, the one who ensures the whole crazy family stays in line, and she takes her job very seriously. Are queens the chatty agenda? There's a lot of anecdotal evidence to suggest that female cats can be more vocal than males. This isn't a hard and fast rule, of course. Some breeds like Siamese are talkative regardless of gender, but many owners of female cats will tell you their girls have a whole vocabulary of chirps, trills, and meows to communicate their every whim. There's the "I'm hungry" meow, the "You've been gone for 5 minutes and I thought you were never coming back" meow, and the indignant "You are sitting in my spot" meow. They seem to use their voice as a tool to get what they want with precision. A male cat might just sit by his bowl and look pathetic, but a queen will find you, make direct eye contact, and deliver a full speech on the tragic state of her empty food dish. If you're looking for a companion to have full-blown conversations with, a female cat might just talk your ear off. Now for the biggest factor that blows all these gender stereotypes out of the water: neutering and spaying. I can't emphasize this enough. A cat's personality is influenced more by whether it's fixed than by whether it's male or female. The hormones that drive a lot of the problem behaviours, like spraying in males and going into heat and yowling in females, are completely taken out of the equation. Neutering a male cat mellows him out, reduces his wanderlust, and makes him more focused on his home and his humans. Spaying a female cat eliminates the stress and vocalization of her heat cycles, making her more even-tempered and affectionate. In many ways, fixing your cat dials down the extreme, gender-specific behaviours, allowing their individual personality to shine through. So when we compare males and females, we are almost always talking about neutered and spayed pets, because their behaviour is so drastically different from their intact counterparts. Let's talk health. Are there any gender-specific health issues you should be aware of? Yes, and it's something to consider. Male cats, due to their longer and narrower urethra, are significantly more prone to developing urinary blockages, a condition known as feline lower urinary tract disease, or FELUT-D. This is a life-threatening emergency. If your male cat is straining to pee, or not peeing at all, it's a trip to the emergency vet. No questions asked. A good diet and plenty of water can help prevent this. Female cats, on the other hand, are more prone to urinary tract infections, which are less likely to be fatal, but still require veterinary care. Unspayed females also have a very high risk of developing pachymetria, a uterine infection, and mammary tumours. This is another massive reason why spaying is so incredibly important for their long-term health and well-being. It's not just about behaviour, it's about giving them a longer, healthier life. Of course, we can't ignore the breed factor. Lumping all male cats and all female cats into two neat boxes is impossible, because breed plays a huge role in their personality. A male ragdoll, a breed known for its docile and puppy-like nature, is going to have a very different temperament than a male Bengal, who is basically a tiny, chatty leopard. Similarly, a female Siamese, famous for being intelligent, vocal, and demanding, will be a world away from a female British Shorthair, who is typically more reserved and independent. If you have your heart set on a specific breed, you should research the typical personality traits of that breed first, and then consider the gender differences as a secondary factor. Think of the breed as the operating system, and the gender as a set of pre-installed apps. Both are important, but the OS defines the core functionality. So, let's do a direct comparison. Independence versus clinginess. Who wins? Generally, male cats tend to lean more towards the clingy side of the spectrum. They often crave physical contact and are more likely to be your little shadow, demanding attention and lap time. They form strong, simple bonds and are not afraid to show it. Female cats, on the other hand, often value their independence more. They love their humans fiercely, but they also appreciate their me time. A queen is perfectly content to go nap in another room for a few hours, recharging her social battery. She doesn't need your constant validation to know she's adored. This makes her a great choice for people who might have busier schedules or prefer a pet that is a little more self-sufficient. It really comes down to what you're looking for in a relationship. Do you want a constant companion or a loving but independent roommate? What about training and intelligence? This is a tricky one because intelligence in a cat is a very subjective thing. Both genders are incredibly smart, but they often apply their intelligence differently. Female cats are often perceived as more trainable in the traditional sense. Their calculating nature means they can be very good at learning tricks or solving puzzle toys, especially when there's a tasty reward involved. They learn the household rules quickly and often choose to follow them when it suits them. Male cats apply their intelligence in more direct ways. A male cat might not learn to sit on command, but he will learn that rattling the treat bag summons the humans from any room in the house. His intelligence is a tool for maximum comfort and snack acquisition. So, are queens smarter? Maybe not. They're just less likely to use their brainpower for silly things when they could be using it to plot world domination from their favourite armchair. Let's rewind to the beginning. The kitten phase. Are male and female kittens that different? Honestly, at that tiny, fuzzy, chaotic stage, not really. All kittens, regardless of gender, operate on the same basic programming. Play, eat, sleep, poop, repeat. They are all little balls of energy, curiosity, and needle-sharp claws. The more distinct, gender-based personality traits we've been talking about really start to emerge as they approach social maturity, which happens around the 1 to 2 year mark. So if you're adopting a tiny kitten, you're getting a bit of a mystery box. Their early life experiences, their socialization with people and other animals, and their own unique individual personality will play a far bigger role in who they become than their gender will. The best strategy is to meet the kittens and choose the one whose little personality clicks with yours, whether they're a boy or a girl. This brings us to a crucial question for many, the multi-cat household. What's the best gender combination for a peaceful home? While every cat is an individual, there are some general guidelines that can help. One of the most successful pairings is often a male and a female. They tend to have different social structures and are less likely to see each other as direct competitors. 2 neutered males can also get along famously, often becoming best buddies and wrestling partners. The trickiest combination, according to many behaviourists, is 2 unrelated females. Because queens are so fiercely protective of their core territory, the home, introducing another queen can sometimes lead to tension, standoffs, and a sort of cold war over resources like the best sunny spot or the cleanest litter box. Again, this is not a universal rule. With a slow, patient introduction, any combination can work. But it's something to keep in mind if you're planning on building a feline empire. So after all of this, what's the verdict? The truth is, the best gender doesn't exist. The best choice depends entirely on you, your personality, your lifestyle, and what you're looking for in a feline friend. If you want a goofy, overtly affectionate, playful companion who will likely be your constant shadow, a male cat could be a fantastic fit. He'll fill your home with laughter and probably a few broken knickknacks. He's simple, loving, and endlessly entertaining. His love is a loud, rumbling purr and a headbutt to the chin. But maybe that's not your speed. Maybe you appreciate a more complex, intelligent, and subtle companion. Maybe you want a relationship built on mutual respect and earning their trust, a cat who will be a quiet, calming presence in your life. In that case, you might be the perfect person for a queen. If you want a cat who is a true partner, who loves you deeply, but also values her own space, a female is an amazing choice. Her affection is a quiet gift, a slow blink from across the room that says, "I see you, and you are mine." She will challenge you, she will comfort you, and she will rule your home with a velvet paw. Ultimately, these are just signposts, not rules set in stone. The most important factor will always be the individual cat's personality. When you go to a shelter or a breeder, spend time with the cats. See who comes up to you. See whose energy matches yours. You might go in dead set on getting a laid-back male cat and walk out with a sassy little queen who has completely stolen your heart. And that's the magic of it. You don't just choose a cat. In a way, they choose you too. So keep your heart open to either gender. Let's end on the most important point of all. The difference between a good pet and a great pet isn't their gender. It's the love, care, and environment you provide. A cat that feels safe, loved, and stimulated will blossom, regardless of whether they are a boy or a girl. Their history also matters immensely. A rescued cat who was a stray might have different behaviours and needs than a cat who has only known a loving home. Be patient, be kind, and be prepared for the unexpected. The most rewarding part of cat ownership is getting to know their unique, quirky personality. Whether your cat is a goofy boy who tries to drink water from the faucet or a sophisticated girl who judges your life choices from atop the refrigerator, they are individuals. The battle of the sexes is fun to talk about, but in the end, love is the universal language they all understand. So, the best choice is simply a cat. So there you have it, the hilarious, complex, and often surprising truth about the differences between male and female cats. Now you know that while there are some general tendencies, the most important thing is the individual furball's unique personality. Whether you choose a goofy, lovable tomcat or a sassy, intelligent queen, you're in for a lifetime of love, laughter, and cleaning up mysterious messes. They may drive us crazy with their 3 a.m. zoomies and their disdain for expensive cat beds, but at the end of the day, we wouldn't have it any other way. They are family. If this video helped you solve the great gender debate, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe for more feline facts, and share it with a friend who's about to be adopted by a cat. And for my final question, after hearing all this, has your preference changed? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and give your furry overlord a pet for me.